That was your look at the currency market. To begin with this afternoon, Ghana is ranked #1 by the World Bank with the highest food prices in Sub-Saharan Africa in 2022. According to the Bretton Woods institution, food prices have gone up since January 1 by more than 120%. Charles Nixon takes a look at the World Bank's latest Africa Pulse report.
Since the start of 2022, food prices have increased sharply in many countries. According to the Food Price Index in countries in Sub-Saharan Africa, Ghana recorded the highest increase in food prices of 122% since the beginning of the year. Food inflation in Ghana has been high, recording a year-on-year inflation of 34.4% in August. On month-on-month basis, inflation was even higher. The drivers of food inflation in Ghana are oils and fats, fish and other seafood, water, cereals, milk and eggs, fruits and vegetables, as well as live animals and meat. Overall, the World Bank said inflation breached the ceiling of the central bank targets for all countries with an explicit nominal anchor. Meanwhile, Senegal followed Ghana closely with food price increases of 110%. Uganda is second with 107% increase in food prices.
Well, joining us is Chief Executive of the Chamber of Agribusiness, Anthony Morrison, to discuss this further. Grateful you could join us, Anthony. We know what the issues are: failed agri policies, high inflation, impact of the Ukraine war, etc. So I wouldn't want us to belabor the points. Is there any way prices can come down in the short term, or have we missed the opportunity?
Well, Darrell, thank you very much, and very good afternoon to your cherry viewers. Well, we've been singing this very unfortunate song for the past years. We have highlighted the issues several times as to the trajectory of our agriculture and food systems. And even though I'm not happy this is coming at this time, because we wish it had come much earlier for government to take some mitigating measures. As we speak now, we do not expect prices of food to come down any soon because the situation is taken. Government's continuous budget allocation for the agriculture sector still continues to be very low with comparison to the rest of the sub-region. And if you take the CADEP, the African Union Comprehensive Africa Agriculture Development Program, and the credit, the scoring, the scorecard, Ghana was adjudged to be not on track with its food system, but progressively well. That tells us that the chamber has been doing a very great job in trying to alert the government and the other sectors, major sector players about the happenings in the industry. We have earlier this year called on government to set up the food security, the National Food Security Bureau, and which we thought that it would have mitigated some of the challenges we face, most especially on the financial sector and also project implementation. These two areas have woefully failed this government, and I think that this is a noble call on the minister to begin to look at the scorecard and say a very goodbye to the sector and make sure that we are able to get somebody in who is much committed to the job, who is focused, and who can deliver to the Ghanaian people and will be able to access food at a price that is comparable to our pocket.
And so for you, the solution is setting up this Food Security Bureau, and you think that the Agri Minister has not been so effective in doing his job. I want us to also deal with the issue with price gouging, because there is the disparity in prices, especially when you compare the cities to other parts of the country. And some people feel that prices are deliberately increased during these times with the excuse that we are facing tough economic challenges.
Well, I don't think that is entirely true. If you look at the kind of investment we have put into the agriculture sector, most especially from the money that we've gotten from our developing partners, we shouldn't be in this situation at all. When we started complaining about the fact that there is likelihood of fertilizer shortages since last year, and that there was a need on government to take proactive measures. They failed to listen. So most importantly, you will want to be taking some local mitigation points at the same time, looking at your most competitive and comparative advantages in the food production. We push government to embrace the organic fertilizer, but as we speak, government has not taken measures on its side to make sure that private sector or people who want to import fertilizers can go through a smooth process. They are still paying exorbitant fee, more than 15,000 cedis in some cases, to even go through certification. So for me, I don't think government is committed.
Anyway, yeah, is there any way prices can't be regulated, do you think?
Well, the market forces, the market derivatives does not make it much possible at this point in time. What government can do is to provide some mitigating measures. For instance, we can begin to look at supporting commercial farmers to produce ostensibly to buffer stock. Buffer stock can use the system to mitigate the price on the market. But if government is going to buy from smallholder farmers, aggregate and stock up, it's going to come up with the same price formula. And if you look at the same, the price goes up, the Ghana food price goes up, it won't change that dealing with aggregation because you are kind of evolving the same value chain activity to the stock, which is the warehouse, and warehouse to the market. But ideally, you would have want to aggregate directly from the commercial farm and allow commercial farm to hold the produce. Then when there is a need for it, it is released into the market at a discount. But this is a system where we do not have it. Our strategies have always been supporting smaller holder farmers, and we have not been able to support our commercial farmers to that extent.
And for those watching and wondering, what does this report mean? The fact that in Sub-Saharan Africa we have the highest food prices. What does this mean for our food security, Anthony?
Yes. Earlier on, I think late last year, we had the Economic Intelligence Unit of UK stating clearly that our policies are not aligned. Government is not committed to its own policies, and our policies also are not harmonized. And these are three major things that, if you look at the derivatives, is coming out from the World Bank report as well. So it's over to government to commit entirely to our food systems and to make sure that the budgetary allocation for agriculture doesn't fall below 1% of the budgetary allocation or the total budgetary allocation. And also to work towards aligning our agriculture sector policies. We have several policies across the sector, and we do not have enough funds or enough finance to play around. It's time. If you look at European Union, they have the agriculture sector policy that has been running for the past 30 years.
Okay.
And the US have the United States Department for Agriculture. They have one, the agriculture sector policy. But in Ghana, it's a different story. So I think there is more to be done. How we seem to find mitigation points to achieve a better food security for the country.
All right, Anthony Morrison, we'd have to leave it here. CEO of the Agribusiness Chamber, I appreciate your time with us this afternoon on The Marketplace.